Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and today I'm actually leaving, but we have a quick little comparison between this guy, the Armed Shark Orca Trainer, and, sorry, what am I talking about? The Armed Shark Orca Trainer and the One Orca Trainer being in G10 and Ultem. I wish I could compare the Bally Plus one as well, but that one has been out of stock for a long time, and I hear it's, actually not awful. But I guess let's start with the older of the two, the Armed Shark Orca Trainer. Now this thing, I'll be honest with you, is really good. Sorry, this is the One version. Please excuse me. This thing is really good, I must be honest. This thing is just absolutely fantastic. I love how it sounds, how it feels. It flips great. It's got a really, really lovely neutral balance. And it's obviously made of G10 and a grade 5 titanium blade, which you can anodize. And people have been enjoying anodizing their blades to be whatever they like. I have this zirconium finish here in the black, which I think looks really mean with the black hardware as well. I think it just looks awesome. Bit of a bespoke order for this one. I just think it looks like the coolest trim. I always wanted the jade color, and the jade color has actually been holding up really well. I mean, I don't beat this thing, but I also don't particularly baby it. I flip it wherever I go, more or less. It's nothing crazy, but the balance on it is super neutral. You can see that it's actually even bordering on it's not quite bordering handle bias. I honestly, this is probably just one of the most neutral knives I have. It flips kind of like a handle bias knife in terms of the rollovers, and then but it's neutral because it kind of wants to go away on a chaplain. It's also pretty lightweight. I believe this thing weighs like 95 grams, thereabouts. I think 96 is officially, or, in that ballpark. It's sub 100 grams, but I think it's more than 90. Anywhere between 92 and 96 grams, I believe, is the actual weight of this thing. And yeah, here's a little sound test. I've not oiled this, by the way. So this thing sounds absolutely fantastic. Really bouncy, and to be honest, I don't know why, but today, of all days, it's decided to be mega bouncy and mega juicy sounding. On no oil, it's just a really durable barrel song. I used to have a white one of these that I beat the hell out of. It never cracked. It just kind of mushroomed at the bottom, like handles do when you drop them on concrete. This thing was fantastic. I kind of want a second one just to travel with, which I guess I sort of have now in the Armed Shark one, but I'm still not brave enough to travel with that guy, because if I lose it, it's going to be really sad. But I do really like this thing. I wish it was a little bit more tactile in how it feels. And here are the tolerances, by the way. A little bit of play. And this is, for the most part, the stock tune. I think I fixed one handle just to get rid of some tap. Which, if you shake it really hard, you can get some tap in here. And I mean, the real ones come with tap, right? So, not really too surprised at that. But this thing, overall, I cannot recommend more. It's about £40, I think, new, or something like this, thereabouts. Maybe 45. And genuinely, I think this, as a first balisong, is insane, because not only it's lightweight, right? So, people always complaining, oh, it hurts when you're hitting the knuckles. G10 is relatively soft compared to, aluminium or titanium. And, something like this, you smack it on your knuckles a bunch of times, it's not going to hurt you. You can basically do this. It's too light to have anything like that. It'll actually take quite a bit of a beating, and, for beginners learning their, new tricks, like the Zen rollover. Sorry, that was more of a Y2K, but, no, it was a Zen rollover, wasn't it? That's a Y2K. But, for those kinds of tricks like that, it's going to be great to learn stuff on. I find this was really, really intuitive. It doesn't do all the flipping for you, but it just teaches you the right techniques. The pinsless gives you an immense amount of control. And it's only 2 screws to worry about, right? I will say the disassembly is probably the most intimidating part about it, in terms of, it's got a 4-washer system in here, which is a bit I don't know. But, as long as, beginners probably won't be disassembling this, at all, let alone too much. You know, I've not had the handle gap closed at all. I mean, look at that. That is mega sturdy. I'm not pressing on it like, you know, with the force of Zeus, but at the same time, you know, I'm not, you know, being gentle. And the sun has decided to come out to play, which is awesome. But yeah, this thing sounds great, looks great, flips great, could not recommend more. Now, and obviously G10 titanium with stainless steel hardware. Now, let's compare it to the Armed Shark equivalent, which, first of all, from the looks, oh, this thing looks nuts. I can already tell you that. And it's a similar construction with a titanium blade and stainless hardware. However, this is T10, the other one is T8, unfortunately. And this has polyethyl PEI, I can't remember what it is, polyethyl or something like this. Something like that. Basically Ultem, right, which you can do some research. This is a bit of a magic material. And it's really cool to see it's used in balisongs. And this guy is about 20 grams lighter. And goodness me, when you A and B it, yeah, you can feel it. Now, this guy is also a lot more expensive, and I would actually say is a worse balisong. This is not a balisong that is very beginner-friendly, partially due to the balance. It's got a comfortable blade bias. It's not quite blade heavy, but it's like really towing the line. Like, it'll still do most tricks, but it does them a little bit wonkier. But I mean, it's still super fun to flip. Is it a good balisong? Yes and no. It feels great in the hand. I mean, the bounce isn't as violent as the one version, but it's crisper. And I think the sound in general just a lot more soothing. Sorry, I just hit the camera. And when we come to take a look at the two of them, we can actually see some of the key differences. So it's here. Where if we now look at the handles, we can kind of look from the bottom. This guy is actually a little bit thinner than this guy is. And you do feel it a little bit, right? This guy just has a slightly nicer finish. Obviously, this being a smooth Ultem, you know, it's not going to be as aggressive texture-wise as the G10. G10 is very grippy. It's actually grippier than the Ultem, but the Ultem by no means is it slippery. Obviously, the Ultem has that really cool translucent feature. And when it comes to the blades, you can kind of see this is a little thinner on the one, and this is also, this hole slightly smaller, but all the edges are slightly thinner. And I think this blade is just immaculately balanced for these handles. And this blade, I think, just suffers from the problem that the real JK first run Ultem ones did, where the blade was just slightly too heavy before he started doing weight-reduced blades, which had trimmings there, and trimmings there, there, and there. From what I can see in the photos, you know, just to make the whole thing flip a little bit better. But I will say this is slightly better machined. You can see really nice JK engraving there on the bottom. Say hello to the dog. Yeah, it says Orca there. Kind of difficult. There we go. That's a better view. You know, very nice. Whereas this guy's got nothing of the sort. You know, this is probably the better clone. You know, it's got no markings or whatever. However, you know, whereas this does say JK, which is the first time on Shark I've done something like that, and it's even serialized here. I say serialized. They're all number 88. It says Thai on the back, which is really cool, but it does also say Arm Shark on the blade. So there's no chance that you're gonna, you know, accidentally buy a fake one. But yeah, no, genuinely, this is a nice balisong, and here you can see also a difference in the nipple geometry. It's pretty significant, actually. When it comes to the gaps, this guy's got a big closed gap and a, you know, pretty small open gap, and this guy, I think, has a slightly larger open gap, as you can see. But overall, they are very, very similar balisongs. The one offering is certainly the better of the two. It's cheaper, it's a better flipper. It's bouncier, and I think this is just as complicated to tune. The only downsides to the one are the tune is probably not going to be as nice as this guy. I mean, this guy came with pretty nice tolerances once I figured out how it works. It's got a slightly different, but obviously still very similar bushing system inside. It's just two phosphor bronze washers rather than a steel and a phosphor bronze, which I think is where the one actually is slightly better in, you know, the stability of that, and you can really crank down on it. And this only comes with 4 spare washers, whereas the one version comes with 8 spare washers, 4 stainless ones and 4 phosphor bronze ones. And so I think, you know, if you really wanted, you could probably end up picking up both. But the hardware is nicer here, right? Obviously, it being T10, it's a bit more round. And this is a prettier knife, that's for sure. And for the collector who just wants something that looks amazing, this really, you know, fills the spot. But as a flipper, if you're solely interested in the flipping, this isn't great. I'll be honest with you, it's kind of wonky. I don't mind it. I think the looks is what's really carrying it for me. But, you know, from the flipping standpoint, the other one is definitely the better flipper. If you could only have one, probably go for that one. Unless you just want one to look at. You know, you'll probably have a pretty difficult time learning tricks on this guy. He'll be flying out your hands quite often, especially when you do any, like, Chaplin-related tricks. Just to show you, here's me trying to do a reverse 8-ball. And it's pretty difficult on that guy, to be honest. Unless you're, like, really, really good at it. Whereas on this guy, you know, it just wants to hug to your fingers a lot easier. And I think that's one of the big upsides that the one version has. But that's more or less the comparison between the two. If I missed anything, please do let me know in the comments down below. They're both a pinsless system, both similar materials. I just wish there was, you know, either a heavier butt or a lighter blade. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.